It's time for Northwest Missouri State basketball on the Bearcat Radio Network. Let's go courtside for today's game.
Good morning and welcome to Evansville, Indiana in the Ford Center. It's the site of the NCAA Division II National Championship men's basketball game as the Northwest Missouri State Bearcat men's basketball team comes in as the number 2 seed. They were ranked number 4 in the latest NABC Top 25 poll. They stand at 27-2 coming into today's matchup with West Texas A&M. The Buffaloes are 19-2 coming into today's game as well. I'm John Coffey, joined for today's game. Austin Myers, Matt Tritton is away for today's ball game, but Austin Myers, the women's head coach at Northwest Missouri State, and a longtime assistant under head coach Ben McCullum as well. And Austin, good to have you with us on the broadcast.
Good to be here, John. It's a good day for basketball, and looking forward to it.
And as far as Northwest Missouri State, they are currently going through their pregame warm-ups. West Texas will be out in just a few moments, but might just talk about this Bearcat men's basketball team as they come into this game. Again, 27-2 on the season, just 2 losses on the year, that coming at the hands of the Washburn Nicobots. This is a Bearcat men's basketball team that really seems to rise to the occasion in events such as this.
Oh, absolutely, and I think, from an expectation standpoint, the expectation is to play in the national championship game pretty much every year. And that's a pretty unrealistic expectation, but once again, they're here again. And you think about numerous times being in this game, multiple national championships, and it's really unbelievable what they've been able to do to be here once again.
As you look at Northwest, again, you look at guys that have really contributed throughout this season. Trevor Hudgens, also Ryan Hawkins. The starting 5 really has been doing such a fantastic job. But it's just been overall the play, not only those guys, but getting the support off the bench has made a huge difference this season. Yeah,
John, I mean, they're a true team, top to bottom. Obviously you talk Ryan Hawkins, Trevor Hudgens, the leaders as far as the playmaking goes and scoring goes, but different guys can beat you on any night. Different guys can make plays. We talk a lot about, at times all 5 guys shooting well over 40% from 3 on the floor, which is unbelievable. So it makes it really tough on defenses. How you going to guard them? We saw it in the first round Elite 8 game, being able to handle the press but still control the tempo. And then, last game in the Final Four game, just how they were able to move the ball, force long closeouts, make extra passes. It's just a really fun style of basketball to watch, and it's a very unselfish style.
It really is, and it really causes, I think, headaches for opposing coaching staffs on how to stop Northwest. You look at Thursday night's game in particular, it seemed like they were giving particular attention to Ryan and also, of course, Trevor. And then Luke Waters was open time and time again out there. They were giving him a lot of space, and Luke made them pay.
Yeah, no doubt. And I'd probably do it too from a scatter report standpoint, that you probably need to get 2 guys on Trevor at times because he's so good. He's a National Player of the Year, so he draws some attention. Well, when you get 2 guys to the ball on ball screen actions, somebody's going to be open. And even if it's defended fairly well from a defensive standpoint, you still give them just an inch where, Trevor draws 2, throws back to a Luke Waters, and now you're forcing a closeout, and now Waters attacks, and you get rotations, and then it's drive and kick, and then it's, you're closing out on a 40% shooter, so you got to close out hard, and then you attack again. It's just, there's really no good way to guard them. If you switch everything, they're going to take advantage of bigs on bigs on guards, mismatches in the post, and they can just beat you in so many different ways, and it makes it tough.
One play in particular, that matchup on Thursday with Flagler that's got a lot of nationwide attention through Twitter and various social media, and even as far as some traditional media, was that 12-pass possession, and it was just something else to watch the way they moved around and ended up getting that good look on a 3 by Trevor. But when you see a play like that, and from a coach's standpoint, how much fun was it to watch that develop?
Oh, it was awesome, and I think about the end of that play, you can see Ryan Hawkins' reaction at the end of the play when Trevor hit the 3 and how excited he was. At the same time, Hawk didn't score on the possession. Hawk didn't have an assist. There was nothing in the stat book that Hawk did on that possession, but you can tell how much he enjoyed the possession. That's what these guys are all about. It doesn't matter who scores. It just matters what's the best shot we can get as a team. And yeah, it was good to see that, to get some national attention, because you could go back on Synergy and probably find 40 or 50 more of those possessions throughout the season. And it was nice that it could be pumped out there and for kids to see it, because that's what it's about. You see in the game now a lot of guys, forcing one-on-one, tough shots, low percentage shots to see a team truly play unselfishly and get the best possible shot that plays into the strength of each individual player is pretty refreshing to see.
As far as Northwest coming into this region or this Elite Eight, we're looking at a lot of teams that are coming in, averaging, say, the first game, opponent in West Liberty averaged over 100 points a game. Today, West Texas coming in, averaging nearly 92 points a contest. Seeing a lot of teams with huge offensive outputs, but I think the biggest difference where Northwest still having a way to get the ball in the hoop, averaging almost just over 80 points a game, is the fact Northwest plays such tough defense. And I think we haven't seen anybody in this region, and I keep saying region, but this Elite Eight matchups here that play the type of defense that Northwest does.
No, and I was listening the other night after the game, Zach talking about the defense played in some of the leagues, and it's true, and you can see it. I personally haven't really watched any of these leagues play on the men's side, but you can see when guys get in these games, you kind of have that, oh man, these guys are getting after it, and it's just hardcore defensive pressure. The game the other night, there's when the offense is starting 4 or 5 feet behind the 3-point line, every pass is challenged. When you drive, there's always somebody in a gap. It makes it tough. It forces you to take tough shots. It forces you to take those one-on-one step back contested shots because they don't allow you to get easy baskets. They're really locked in on their ball screen coverage, and it all comes back to just the culture and how they work, and it's important. The shell defense you work on every single day, guarding the basketball every single day in practice. Matt could be the first to tell you. I remember when we got done with the national championship in 2017, and we'd get a lot of emails and calls from other coaches. Hey, can we come watch a practice? Well, we tell them it's not going to be rocket science. We're going to do the same thing every day. We're going to focus on the fundamentals. We're going to be really into it, high tempo in practice, and just do what we do. And it's been happening here at Northwest for a while now, and it's at as high a level as it's been in a long time.
I would imagine, too, the type of defense Northwest plays, not only on possession by possession, but as the game goes along, it really takes its toll. Even when you get late in the ball game where they've had to play so hard on offense to go up against this defense that it forces them into some mistakes late in games that you don't normally see.
No doubt. And in transition-wise, they're going to get back. They're going to communicate. They're so good. In defensive transition, you don't have a man, so you have your matchups to start the game, who you're guarding, but defensive transition, it's all about sprinting back, talking, pointing, and matching up, because you don't have time to get back and guard your exact man that you have from a matchup standpoint. So you get mismatches in transition, but they do such a good job of getting back, plugging the paint, not allowing easy stuff, and then like you said, when it's tough to get a good shot the entire game, it takes its toll on you. And then even there may be a time where you get an open shot and it's like, oh, what's this? I haven't got this all game. Now all of a sudden I got an open shot, and those can be hard to make too. So it's tough, and it's why they're back in this position again, playing for a national championship.
I don't know, imagine it's tough too against teams that like to get down the floor and get things going in transition. West Texas is another one of these teams that likes to score quickly and work off the fast break, to where when they don't have that opportunity like they normally do, that imagine that's something that really takes its toll on teams.
Yeah, and I think too, you look at from a points per possession, and talk about Northwest being up there, I think number one in the country at any level. Well, that would tell you want to have more possessions in a game. But what makes this team so great is they understand too the strength of some of these teams is to run. We saw it with Washburn too. So Northwest can still slow down the tempo of the game and still be so efficient on offense that you can still play your half-court defense. You can hold teams to, we saw 37 in the Final Four game. You can hold teams to a very low number of points but still score. It's pretty crazy when you think about the other night in the Final Four game. They scored, I think, 50 points and a half, and that was with controlling the tempo. Typically you see those games being, 25-20 at the half, not 50 points. So it's just crazy that they can play in various number of ways.
Again, it's Northwest Missouri State and West Texas A&M, two teams going through their pregame warm-ups, and we'll be back and have more right after this timeout on the Bearcat Radio Network.
You're listening to Bearcat Basketball Pregame, underwritten by Clarinda Regional Health Center.
Welcome back to the Ford Center in Evansville, Indiana. Northwest Missouri State and West Texas A&M in the championship game of the NCAA Division II National Championship Tournament. I'm John Coffey, alongside with Austin Meyer, and our studio engineer is Will Linder. Matt Trenton unable to be with us for today's broadcast. Austin, you've had an opportunity to participate in Elite Eights as a player at Northwest, also as an assistant coach with Ben, and with that national championship game in 17 back up in South Dakota at the Pentagon there in Sioux Falls. And as you look at the atmosphere for today's game, a little bit different than those previous matchups just due to COVID-19. Not nearly the type of crowd that you normally see at an event like this because of those protocols. But one thing that, the fans that are making in here, they're going to be making a little bit of noise and trying to make up for that lack of attendance here.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And we Northwest, we have the best fans in the country. They're awesome and very supportive, and they know when to get on their feet and go into timeouts. And so, it was loud in here. And the Final Four game, it'll be loud in here again. And there's a little disappointment that you think about what could have been if this place is wide open and you can fill it up with the way our crowd travels. But, the other side of it is you got to go back to, September, October when we're going to have a season at all. And we're sitting here now playing for a national championship, playing on CBS. People get to listen, watch at home. And so it's got to be thankful that it's happening and we've made it to this point.
Welcome back to the Ford Center. We're in Evansville, Indiana, the championship game of the NCAA Division II National Tournament. The Northwest Missouri State Bearcat men at 27-2 get set to take on West Texas. They come in with a 19-2 record. With women's head basketball coach at Northwest Missouri State, Austin Meyer, I'm John Coffey. Again, Matt Trenton normally with us, unable to be here for today's ball game. When you look at the series between the Buffaloes and the Bearcats, they've only met 3 times, although it seems like it should be more than that. Back when the region went south, it seemed like a lot of the regionals, a lot of the preseason and classics that Northwest would go to, West Texas A&M would be a part of that, although they wouldn't match up in some games. West Texas leads in the overall series 2-1 with wins in 1948. In 1988, the last time these two teams played was March 11, 2006 in the South Central Regional in Bolivar. That was a 66-51 game with the Northwest coming up with a win. And in that particular game, a guy by the name of Austin Meyer played in that contest.
Yeah, John, I can't remember what happened 5 days ago, so I know we won the game. That's about all I remember. So I'm going to go ahead and say I played really well, right?
That's right.
Don't go back and look at the stat sheet. So.
But it really seems unbelievable that these two teams have only played it 3 times. And we see them a lot in various tournaments and things, but just only played 3 times is something else. Yeah,
and especially like you said, with the amount of success both programs have had, you would have thought you'd seen them more in tournament settings like this. 2-1. I don't know if Max got as much of that information, but I guess he could use that as a little motivation to say they lead the series 2-1. Because when you haven't lost many games in the last 4 or 5 years, it's you're always looking for that thing to put a chip on your shoulder. But I don't know. I doubt he used that one.
Bearcats coming off that win against Flagler on Thursday in the semifinal, 77-46. Lincoln Memorial was a matchup where West Texas won 87-86. We're back and have more for you right after this timeout on the Bearcat Radio Network. And welcome back to Evansville, Indiana, and the Ford Center, Northwest and West Texas A&M in the NCAA Division II National Championship game. Along with Austin Meyer, I'm John Coffey. Time now to hear some comments from the head coach of the Bearcats, Ben McCullum. We were able to catch up with Ben yesterday during a special media event, a Zoom meeting, where he had a chance to talk a bit about the matchup with West Texas A&M.
They're good. They're a really good team. They've got great guards. They play fast. They can score it. They can defend. There's a reason they're in the national title game and the number 1 seed. They're different. I mean, their guards can really go. I mean, they can really score it, and they can really get going quick. And obviously they play extremely fast. And then again, defensively, they'll try to turn you over, which they force 17 turnovers a game throughout the season. So you have to make sure you take care of the ball as well.
Again, that's the head coach of the Bearcats, Ben McCullum, commenting about West Texas A&M. Again, the Buffaloes are 19-2, and Northwest comes in 27-2 for West Texas, the number 1 seed in this bracket for Northwest, the number 2 seed coming in the Elite 8. We're with Austin Meyer. And Austin, when you listen to some of those comments from Coach McCullum, what are some of the things that really stand out to you as far as the matchup against a team like West Texas A&M, which is a little smaller lineup than what maybe they've played in the past, but a very fast lineup? And what are some of the things you try to do when you go up against a lineup such as this with a lot of speed and not quite as much size?
He mentioned the turnover factor. They force a lot of turnovers. obviously Northwest is a team that takes good care of the ball, as good as anybody in the country at limiting turnovers offensively. So I think back to the conference tournament championship game, they struggled in the first half against Washburn. Mac would tell you they had too many turnovers in that game. But so that'll be one to just continue to take care of the ball, slow in tempo like we talked about, as good as they are in games when they play fast, and as good as they could be in games when they control tempo. But yeah, from a smaller standpoint, quickness, obviously, Northwest has a lot of length out there on the floor, and those guys do a great job of guarding the ball. I think sometimes with smaller teams, you worry about dribble penetration and you worry about keeping guys in front. But, the Waters, the Dreamers, Hawkins, those guys, with that length, you can get a little bit more of a gap defensively when you're guarding the ball, where you don't have to get up and crowd guys because you have that wingspan. You can contest shots, and but they just do such a good job of guarding the ball, and that's going to be a big part of it today. From a rebounding standpoint, obviously, bigger from a size standpoint, you hope that you can get second chance opportunities from an offensive rebounding standpoint, which Northwest did in the Final Four game quite a bit. I mean, they had multiple possessions where they had, I think, 3 or 4 offensive rebounds on the same possession.
You look at West Texas. We talked early in the pregame here where West Texas averages about 92 points offensively. Defensively, they'll give up just over 77 points per game. But one thing that really stands out, this is a West Texas team that forces a lot of turnovers. Northwest traditionally has been a team that takes very good care of the basketball. So that'll be an interesting matchup here today.
Yeah, and always the key going into games. We always talk about the possession game, but the more you can maximize possessions, and part of that is a tempo standpoint, and the other part of it is getting second chance opportunities and then taking care of the basketball. As efficient as Northwest is offensively, if you don't turn it over, you're going to be in a pretty good spot to win a game.
Northwest Missouri State and West Texas A&M. Again, we're just a few minutes away from a tip-off time. Bearcat pregame underwritten by Clarinda Regional Health Center, offering support to Southwest Iowa and Northwest Missouri each day during times of uncertainty through a local team of providers and nurses. More information at clarindahealth.com. We'll be back and check the starting lineups for today's game. That's coming up right after this timeout on the Bearcat Radio Network. And we're back in Evansville, Indiana at the Ford Center, Northwest Missouri State and West Texas A&M. Time now for the starting lineups underwritten by the Student Body and Planet Sub on 4th Street in Maryville. The Student Body offers Bearcat fan gear, screen printing, and embroidery, while Planet Sub provides sandwiches, salads, and soups daily. The Student Body and Planet Sub, the game day stop on the way to campus for apparel and subs. More information at facebook.com/planetsub Maryville. Not much of a surprise as far as the starting lineup goes for the Northwest Missouri State Bearcats under head coach Ben McCullum. He'll be starting one of the guard spots, Diego Bernard. Diego, a 6-foot junior out of St. Joseph Lafayette. MIAA Defensive Player of the Year and a second team All MIAA performer and a second team All Central District performer as well. He's averaging 12 points and 6 rebounds a game. Also to guard Trevor Hudgens, a 6-foot junior out of Manhattan, Kansas. He's averaging 20 points and 2.4 rebounds per contest, and leads the nation in three-pointers made coming into this Elite Eight. He's also the NABC and the D2 CCA Player of the Year as well. He's coming off a game against Flagler where he had 13 points and 2 assists, but he really did a masterful job controlling the pace of the game against Flagler on Thursday night. Along the front line, Ryan Hawkins, a 6'7 senior of Atlantic, Iowa, averaging 22 points and 8.5 rebounds a game. He's coming off a game where he had 20 points, 11 rebounds, 4 assists, a block shot, and a steal. And that win over Flagler. He's a first-team All-Central District player for the second straight year. All-American at D2 CCA. And he's also finished the season second in MIAA in scoring. Luke Waters, who's averaging just over 10 points a game in the Elite Eight. They're actually the NCAA tournament games. He comes in averaging just about 10 points a contest overall for the season. And 2.4 rebounds a contest. He had 15 points in the win against Flagler. He's a 6'6 sophomore out of Olathe, Kansas. And Wes Dreamer rounding out the starting lineups. Wes, a 6'7 sophomore from Alvo, Nebraska, averaging 8 points and 4.5 rebounds a contest. He had a big game against Flagler, 8 points, 4 rebounds, a block shot, an assist, and a steal. And during the NCAA tournament run, he's been averaging just over 7 points a contest. Now for West Texas A&M under head coach Tom Brown in his 7th season as head coach of West Texas A&M. He'll start a 5-guard lineup, and starting at one of the guards, a 6'1 junior from Waxahachie, Texas, Kawhi Grant. He's averaging 22.5 points and 8 rebounds a game. He's also a Lone Star Conference tournament MVP and a first-team Lone Star Conference performer and a member of the All-Defensive Squad. in the Lone Star Conference as well. He had 25 points in that comeback win over Lincoln Memorial on Thursday night. Jonell Fugit starting at one of the guard spots as well, 6-foot junior from Denver, Colorado, on a transfer from Butler County Community College. He is averaging 13 points and 4 rebounds a contest. He has started all 21 games for the West Texas Buffaloes this season. Kevon Burker, a 6'6 sophomore from Schertz, Texas. He's averaging 5 points and 4 rebounds a game. Also, JoJo Murray. A lot of the offense runs through JoJo Murray. He's a 6-foot junior from Rolette, Texas. He led the Lone Star Conference in scoring this season, averaging 23.9 points and 6.4 rebounds a contest, a member of the Lone Star Conference All-Tournament team, and a first-team All-Lone Star Conference player. Well, and he's also a member of the Lone Star Conference All-Defensive team. Rounding out the starting lineup for West Texas A&M is Zach Toussaint, a 5'10 sophomore from Jonesboro, Illinois. He averages over 10 points per game and 7.3 rebounds a contest. And he was also an all-tournament member of the Lone Star Conference tournament and an honorable mention all-Lone Star Conference player. And he's a big three-point shooter. He has 60 on the season, but he only had one three-pointer in that comeback win over Lincoln Memorial, and that was the big one. That was the game winner as the buzzer sounded to give West Texas that win over Lincoln Memorial. That's the way the lineups look. We'll be back. Get ready for the start of this ball game right after this timeout on the Bearcat Radio Network. Austin Meyer, what do you see as some of the keys to this matchup here today between Northwest and West Texas A&M?
Yeah, I think we talked about tempo of the game and making sure it's in Northwest's favor. Being able to take care of the basketball. We talked about West Texas' ability to force turnovers, and defensively they get out in lanes, they try to gamble. So if you're solid with it, you should be able to get easy buckets out of it too if guys get out of position. But just making sure they take care of the ball. We talked about second chance points on the offensive glass. I think can be a big area for them. And at the end of the day, it's do what you do every day and what they do every day. And they do a lot of things really well. So hopefully they're playing at a high level today.
Northwest with some experience in championship games. West Texas A&M experiences in Elite Eights and regional championships as well. How much does that experience in a championship game itself mean in a game like this?
Oh, I think it helps. There's no awe factor from Northwest where, we'll see here right away. Is it going to take a couple minutes to get a feel from West Texas? And, hopefully Northwest can get out on a run somewhere they've been before.
We're ready to go. The tip is up, and it is controlled by West Texas. They'll go from our left to our right in this first half in their white uniforms with the burgundy numerals trimmed in black. Northwest in their green uniforms with the white numerals and trim. Coffey Grant out to the top, looks off the left side for Kevon Burker. Now they dribble left side to the free throw line, down the lane right side, a little behind. The back pass by Murray was stolen away and picked up by Northwest. As Wes Dreamer has it, we'll give it to Diego Bernard. Northwest from our right to our left. Now with it across the timeline goes Northwest, Trevor Hudgens. Hudgens looks off the left side. Hawkins, a quick pass in the lane, trying to get it to Dreamer, and it's tipped away, but it will belong to Northwest. Ball on the baseline. It was Coffey Grant who had a tip on it and was on the baseline when he got it, so Northwest to inbound.
And Dreamer had the mismatch there. Hawk just left it a little short on the post entry.
Inbound left side for Hawkins. Trying to post up low off the left. Dribbles into the lane. Spins right side. Up with the shot. Won't go. And is picked up by West Texas on the fast break. It's Grant through the lane to the bucket. Leans in and misses the layup. But Wilson a foul coming up here. Your officials for today's game, Irvin Wilson along with John Hendricks and Tommy Johnson. John Hendrickson, MIAA official, considered one of the best in the business. He's been in this Elite Eight at a couple of games Northwest didn't play in.
And if you're officiating this game today, John, you're pretty good. Let's put it that way.
At the free throw line goes Kawhi Grant. He is a 79% shooter this season, shooting 2 here, and the first one is good. Foul on Diego Bernard, his first foul of the ball game. Diego has picked up a couple of quick fouls in some of the tournament games. The semifinal round matchup, though, he was out there the first half not picking up any fouls as the free throw by Grant is good, and it makes it now a 2-0 game. West Texas A&M with the lead over Northwest. Hudgens off the left side now veers through the emblem, the D2 emblem at the midcourt, dribbles to the left wing. Now down the lane to the bucket, lays it up and in. Trevor Hudgens with the drive to the bucket on the left side. We're all tied at 2. Grant across midcourt to the top of the key. Off the left side with the pass for Fugit. They go into the left corner for Murray. Again, Murray, an explosive player for West Texas. Guarded by Diego Bernard. Murray steps back and dribbles off the left wing. Goes out between the circles for Grant. Grant dribbles right side. Chased by Hudgens to the free throw line. Throws it on the right side for Toussaint. Toussaint with the drive. Steps inside the arc. Takes to the upper right side. Good. Toussaint was the player who had the big three-pointer at the buzzer to win it over Lincoln Memorial in the semifinal matchup Thursday night. That was an 87-86 win for West Texas over Lincoln Memorial. Right side goes Hudgens, and a little foul out front. And this one to go on at West Texas.
Talked about the other night, John, Trevor being able to draw 2. West Texas early here, getting back pretty quick on the pop threat, and you saw that in that previous possession. It allowed Trevor one-on-one, and he's a tough guy to keep in front in space.
Janelle Fugit picks up the foul, his first. Both teams with a team foul apiece early in this first half. Hudgens at the top of the key, looks left side, Waters. Now on the left wing is Bernard. Goes cross-court right side, finds Trevor. Trevor to the top of the key, Waters once again. Dribbles down the lane left to the bucket. Left-handed layup won't go, and the rebound put away by Murray. And here comes the fast break for the Buffaloes. To the left side on the break is Grant. Grant guarded by Hudgens, spins to the free throw line, right side for Murray. Murray steps back 3 at the top of the key, off the front of the rim. The long rebound at the free throw line goes to Booker, and there's a whistle on the floor.
And that's what we talked about in the pregame. Waters kept a little bit of a gap, still able to contest the shot.
Booker picks up the foul, and that'll be his first, team second, and Northwest inbound to take it the length of the floor. 17:40 left in the first half of the national championship game, with West Texas up by 2. Bernard at the left lane to the top of the key with the dribble. Down the lane right side, kicks it in the right corner. Dreamer left open, but beforehand we've got a charge coming up on Diego. And that will quickly be his second foul. Now we'll get Isaiah Jackson off the bench and getting ready to come into the ball game for Northwest.
John, we talk about this being a complete team. We all know how well Isaiah's played in spot minutes throughout this tournament.
And he's getting some key moments here. The true freshman of Independence, Missouri. Murray across the timeline left side. Picked up by Jackson. Looks and finds Grant. Grant drives to the left baseline. Cut off by Hawkins. Now they go right side, and they get it to Booker, who slams it down with 2 hands. Hawk had to come over in the help side. That left Booker open in the block on the right, and it's a 6-2 game. Northwest trails West Texas. Into the front court off the left side, Hudgens. Now finds Dreamer. Dreamer right side gets it to Waters out front. Now to Hudgens, gets a screen by Hawkins. Hudgens dribbles left wing, trying to direct some traffic as he dribbles out front. Expires his dribble, finds Hawkins just inside the arc on the left side. Drives to the left baseline, a little shot fake up with the shot, and a whistle and a foul. Shot was blocked away, but the foul was on the body, and foul coming up on West Texas.
John, that all started with an early switch on the ball screen, and Hawk took advantage, got in the post, had a smaller defender on her. Trevor recognized it right away.
It was JoJo Murray on the defense of Hawkins committing the foul. Hawkins to the free throw line, knocks down his first free throw attempt of the game. Hawkins a 75% shooter this season. Booker going to the sideline and into the ball game, Hayden Blankley. Blankley out of Sydney, Australia. He's a key player, one of the first off the bench for West Texas game in and game out, as the second free throw by Hawkins is good. 6-4 game. West Texas in front of Northwest. On the right side, Fugit. Out the elbow right, they get it to Murray. Down the lane, drives and misses the layup. Fight for the rebound as Dreamer did a nice job blocking out. The ball is tipped out of his hands, and we got a foul coming up on the Buffaloes. Foul goes on the Buffaloes there. And Murray picks up the foul, his second, so that's a pretty big foul on West Texas. Cats with a chance to tie or take the lead this trip down. Off of the left side is Northwest Isaiah Jackson. Lobs it and gets it to Hawkins. Hawkins near the left baseline. Now trying to back into the lane. Spins left, banks it up and in. Nice mismatch with Fugit, and Hawkins took advantage of it.
Yeah, he's so tough down there. If you double, he's a great passer, and it's just too easy one-on-one with the size advantage.
Tied up at 6. Out front, Toussaint. They swing it right side for Grant. Grant lost the handle on the dribble, knocked away by Hudgens, picked up by Waters, and Trevor will get it right back, and he'll slowly bring it across midcourt. Cats set up the offense. This game tied up at 6. Northwest with a chance to take the lead for the first time. On the left side, Jackson lobs it low. They get it to Hawkins, lays it up and in. As it time as Fugit fronting Hawkins, and a nice pass to Hawkins on the block off the left side, and he has the easy layup. Northwest with their first lead, 8-6, as they lead West Texas A&M. A timeout, and we'll be back right after this 1-minute timeout on the Bearcat Radio Network.
Support for the Bearcat Radio Network comes from Millen Dinsdale Seed Company in Maryville and Oregon. Representing Golden Harvest corn and NK soybeans, Millen Dinsdale reminds you that there are no practice fields in farming. More at millendinsdaleseed.com.
Bearcats with their first lead of the game, 8-6, as they lead West Texas A&M in the national championship game. A reminder, too, that today's game underwritten by the Maryville License Bureau, now in a new location. The License Bureau is now in the North Side Mall at 115 East 4th Street in Suite 1. Open Monday through Friday. For additional information, 660-582-5391. With Northwest women's head basketball coach Austin Meyer, I'm John Coffey. Again, Matt Trenton, unfortunately, unable to be with us for today's ball game. But Northwest Missouri State out to an 8-6 lead. Northwest coming back, and it really seems like they settled down the last couple possessions.
Yeah, definitely in the early switching, they've taken advantage of it, looking for Hawk in there the last few possessions. It'll be interesting to see out of timeout what West Texas does. Are you going to still switch the ball screen? If you are you going to come double? Hawk in there one-on-one with 3-4 inches is going to be tough for anybody to stop. So it'll be interesting out of the timeout, see what adjustments they make.
West Texas head coach Tom Brown taking advantage of every possible second of this television timeout. Now getting to send his team out to the floor here as Bearcat head coach Ben McCullen had his 5 out there. Again, Diego Bernard on the sideline picking up a couple quick fouls, but Isaiah Jackson out there coming out as the first off the bench for Northwest this afternoon. Byron Alexander missed the last game due to that foot injury suffered in the Elite 8 matchup with West Liberty. And so Isaiah, who's been getting more and more playing time as the year goes along, again, getting some critical moments here in this first half.
Yeah, and I think, both teams don't play a ton of guys. And you get in these tournament settings with these television timeouts, it seems like they're 20 minutes long every timeout. So, fatigue probably not a factor with either one of these teams if you don't have any timeouts because they're all tough in well conditioned because they're at this point. But you got plenty of breaks throughout the games. You're getting one every 4 minutes.
West Texas with it out of the timeout. Across midcourt off of the right side goes JoJo Murray. Goes out to the top of the key for Grant. Grant down the lane to the left bucket, underneath the bucket, into the right corner now for Fugit. He takes the 3 off the front of the rim. Rebound to Northwest, Wes Dreamer. And he'll find Hudgens, and Hudgens just brings it across midcourt. Again, Northwest with a 2-point lead, 8-6. Hawkins with the dribble off the left wing. He's being chased by Grant. Out front right side for Northwest and Isaiah Jackson. He's guarded now by Murray. Murray playing with a couple of fouls. Now to Hudgens on the right side. Shot clock at 9 seconds. Steps back, wants the 3 over Toussaint, knocks it down. Trevor Hudgens had a layup earlier. This time it's his first 3 of the game, and Northwest with an 11-6 lead. On the right side, Murray drives to the bucket, has a little off balance, tosses it up, but there's a whistle as well. This should be a foul coming up on Northwest on Isaiah Jackson.
John, that's another thing that makes Trevor who he is. You talk about him one-on-one in space, being able to get to the basket, his ability to pass when he draws 2 on pick and pop action, and then at the end of the day, if you play pretty good defense on him, he still can hit you with a step back 3. So he's pretty much unguardable.
11-6, Northwest Missouri State with the lead. Now 11-7 as Murray hits his first free throw attempt here, his first point of the game as well. Murray, a very good free throw shooter, 81% on the season. And West Texas on the year as a team, a 76% shooter. At the line, Murray, second free throw, that's good. 11-8, Northwest Missouri State up. 14:55 left in the first half. Hudgens across midcourt right side, where he's guarded by Janelle Fugit. Finds Jackson near the sideline. Out front, Hudgens. Hudgens wants to dribble out front, momentarily double team. Now drives through the lane. Lost the handle, but picks it back up and hits the shot off the backboard. Trevor Hudgens will drive off the right side, got past Fugit, and has the layup. 13-8, Northwest in front. Now front left side, Murray for the Buffaloes. Left side near the corner with the pass as they get it to Fugit. He puts up a three in front of the Bearcat bench. It misses too hard. Long rebound chased down at the wing off the right side by Murray. Down to the right corner. Three put up and good by Kawhi Grant. And Grant with 5 points early in this game. Northwest in front, 13-11. Hudgens across the timeline right. Finds Jackson near the right sideline. Between the circles, Dreamer. Left side for Hudgens. Hudgens to the free throw line. Right side, Jackson to the right corner, Dreamer. Now Dreamer trying to back into the lane. Again, he's got a bit of a height advantage as he spins right side in the block. Off the glass, won't go. Rebound tip. Dreamer controls it as he comes away with it. There's a whistle inside. And it looks like this foul may go against Northwest. And West, I believe, picks up the foul. That's his first.
Got it to a pretty good spot there, John. Had the size advantage, just wasn't able to finish.
Northwest by 2, 13-11. Bearcats had a 9-0 run to take the lead. Looks like we've got another timeout coming as Northwest Missouri State has the lead 13-11. The Bearcats in front of West Texas A&M, 13:46 left in the first half. We'll be back right after this 90-second timeout on the Bearcat Radio Network. 13-11, Northwest Missouri State with the lead, 13:46 left in the first half. Today's broadcast underwritten by Pitzenberger Auto Body in Maryville, providing auto collision repair and taking the dents out of accidents. Pitzenberger's also installs ultimate truck bed liners. More at 660-582-4599. Austin Meyer, I'm John Coffey. And Austin, what do you see so far out of what Northwest is trying to do offensively against a West Texas A&M team that doesn't have quite the size that Northwest has?
Yeah, you can tell early it's two-man game with Hawk and Trev, and they've done a good job of taking advantage of Hawk, the mismatch with Hawk down there. But, 6 of the 8 field goal attempts right now are Trevor and Hawk, and that's what makes this team so good. They're 5 of 6 from the field right now. Those other guys, they don't really care. And once again, we talked about it's about getting that great shot that eventually, if these guys continue to score at the level they are, they're going to have to start doubling and helping, and that's when it's going to open things up for the rest of the guys on the floor, and they'll be ready. You'll start seeing other guys out here start scoring and making some plays.
West Texas with it out of the timeout. And they go from our left to our right. Murray into the front court, gets a pass on the left side for Blankley. Now through the lane, left side into the corner. They get a pass over to Grant. Now they spin it back right side. Murray down the lane with the drive, rims around, and in. JoJo Murray with his first field goal of the game. He's got 4 points total and ties this one up at 13. Hudgens finds Hawkins into the front court off the right side. Now to Dreamer in front of the West Texas bench. They swing it back left side, Hudgens. Left corner for Hawkins. Hawkins on the drive to the bucket. His left-handed layup is blocked away by Blankley. Hawkins saves it in bounds on the right corner for Dreamer. His three won't go off the front of the rim. Rebound tip controlled by Jackson with one dribble. Kicks it back left side and a whistle. And we've got a foul inside. And this going on Northwest. Now Isaiah Jackson picks up his second foul, so that's another big foul there. Jackson off the bench with 2. We already have Diego Bernard on the sideline with 2. This game tied up at 13. Blankley right side. They'll swing it left for Fugit. Dribbles on Dreamer. Now back out left Blankley. And he throws it away. Try to give it to Fugit. Fugit had cut toward the bucket. The pass goes right behind him all the way to the Bearcat sideline, and Northwest will have it off the turnover. Tied up at 13. Inbound comes to Hudgens, and Hudgens again will just slowly bring it down the floor as Northwest will set up the offense. And in the front court off the left side, lucky man-to-man defense out of West Texas. Hudgens out between the circles with the dribble. Tied the arc off the left side, and his dribble knocked out of bounds as Fugit came over and knocks it away.
And that's the first time we've seen him double Trev on the ball screen.
So now the inbound in the left corner. Out front left for Hudgens. Shot clock at 9 seconds. Hudgens drives down the lane left. Now fadeaway jumper on the way. Got it. Hudgens knocks down the fadeaway, and Northwest has a 15-13 lead.
That's tough, John.
Boy, how do you stop him? It looked like they stopped the drive, and then he just has that nice little fadeaway. Now driving the other way in. Fugit misses his shot. Rebound cleared away by Hawkins for Northwest. Cats up 15-13. Hawkins dribbles right side on Fugit. To the top of the key. Hooks the pass back to Dreamer. Off the right side. Dreamer through the lane. Scoops the handoff to Waters. Now right side Hawkins. Hawkins in the lane. Spins right side. Puts it off the glass. A good nice little spin move on Blankley and has the layup. 8 points for Hawkins early in this one. Cats up 17-13. Murray off the right side. Dribbles between the circles. Steps back. He'll take the three over Waters on the way too hard. Long rebound the elbow right side. Hawkins clears it and gets it to Hudgens. Bearcats in their green uniforms tonight. Hudgens across the timeline right side. Now inside the arc. Gets it out front for Hawkins. Back to Hudgens on the right side. Hudgens with a couple of dribbles. We'll bring it out front off the right side. Once again, it's a shot clock down inside of 10 seconds. Drives, leans in, banks it, misses it. Rebound tipped, and it is corralled finally by Hawkins. Puts it right back up. Whistle on a foul and a block coming up on West Texas. This should go on Hayden Blankley.
Great job by Hawk there, just keeping it alive. Second effort.
And we got another timeout here with 11-12 left in the first half. It's Northwest Missouri State with the lead, 17-13 as they lead West Texas A&M. We'll be back. More for you from Evansville, Indiana, the national championship game right after this 90-second timeout on the Bearcat Radio Network. Back in Evansville, Indiana, Northwest Missouri State with a 17-13 lead over West Texas A&M. Support for the Bearcats in the lead 8 comes from A&G Restaurant at 208 North Main Street in Maryville. A&G offers more than 100 menu items, Greek night every Friday, banquet rooms, and more. For additional information, a-g-restaurant.com. With Northwest Women's head basketball coach Austin Meyer, I'm John Coffey. Will Linder's our studio engineer. Again, Matt Trenton unable to be with us for this afternoon's game, but so far so good. Austin, a 17-13 Bearcat lead.
Yeah, and you see, only two three-point field goal attempts for Northwest, and it's what makes it so tough when you have guys that shoot it at the level they do. You have to close out, and then it allows you saw Hawk on the attack, close out, spin, and score. It just gives you enough of a first step to gain an advantage. And, even Hawk will tell you he's not the fastest guy in the world, but you have to close out because he shoots it so well, and he's so good at making the right read and the right play. And they're scoring a lot more in the paint than they are in the perimeter.
Hawkins fouled before the timeout by Blankley. Goes to the line, knocks down the first of two. He's 3-of-3 at the free throw line this afternoon. The Bearcats as a team shooting over 80% at the free throw line. Hawkins hits both. They came into the lead 8, second in the nation in free throws made this season. Grant out to the top of the key, looks on the left side. Murray picked up by Waters. And he'll take it to the elbow off the left. Cross right side pass for Fugit. He takes the three, rims around and out. Another rebound for the Bearcats and Hawkins. Now to Hudgens as, again, Northwest trying to control the pace of this game. Hudgens into the front court, gets it to Waters, right side Dreamer. Now out front for Diego Bernard, who picked up a couple quick fouls. Back out on the floor to Waters. Waters left baseline to the bucket, lays it up and in. Got a step on Burker, went around him and has the layup. And Northwest in front 21-13. To the top of the key, Grant. Down the lane he goes, blocked away from behind by Hawkins, goes out of bounds. It'll belong to West Texas.
A great job once again by Waters there, handling that hard closeout, and got a first step. Help side was not there, and an easy finish.
Couple substitution now for the Buffaloes. As they will inbound. Into the ball game is Cameron Bell seeing his first action. Inbound, out front right side, Blankley. Quick pass right back to Murray toward the right corner. We'll have to bring it out to the right wing. Drives the lane on Waters, leans in with the left hand, hits the layup. Jojo Murray now with 6 points and 21-15. Northwest lead over West Texas A&M. Hudgens out between the circles, guarded by Cameron Bell now. Again, Bell just into the game for the Buffaloes. Into the right corner for Bernard, finds Dreamer inside, goes up with a shot. He knocks it down, and another foul coming up on Hayden Blankley. And Dreamer gets into the scorer's book as he'll get to the free throw line now for a chance at the traditional three-point trip down the floor with the free throw coming. Northwest up 23-15. In the national championship in Division II on the line this afternoon. Free throw on the way, short. And the rebound comes to West Texas. Guess I should say this morning. Still morning here in Evansville. On the left side, into the left corner, Blankley. Steps inside the arc, spins left. Hawkins all over him. Now finds a bounce pass to the left to Toussaint. Out to the top of the key, they go for Grant. Grant trying to clear the traffic for the Buffaloes. Dribbles out front, takes a long three over Waters and a long rebound. Picked up by Waters at the elbow, but a whistle on a foul coming up. And this one to go against West Texas, fighting for the rebound.
John, a team that shoots it close to 40% from three, 37% on the year. West Texas currently 1 of 7 from three-point range. And, got to give a lot of credit to Northwest defensively and the length that they have contesting those perimeter jump shots.
Blankley picked up that foul going for the rebound. That is his third since coming off the bench. And he is a guy that is really one of those guys that can light it up offensively coming off the bench for West Texas. And now he has to go back to the sideline. And Kevon Burker back into the ballgame for West Texas. That also the 7th team foul on the Buffaloes. Trevor Hudgens will toe the free throw line for a 1-and-1 opportunity. And his first one hits the front of the rim and in. Double figures already for Trevor. He has 10 points. 90% shooter at the free throw line. And his second free throw good as well. One thing about Trevor, too, when the game's on the line, he's one of the guys you want at the free throw line. And he's converted time and again for Northwest. Through the lane goes Grant to the bucket. Hangs on the rim, won't go. Rebound, and the putback is good by Booker. 4 points for Booker. And it's a 25-17 game. Northwest Missouri State has the lead. Hudgens at the 10-second line, dribbling through the Evansville Division II Championship logo at midcourt. Goes off the right side now. Expires the dribble, looks and gets it to Bernard between the circles. Left side for Waters. Waters near the sideline. Now will dribble out front. Looking and getting it to Dreamer inside the arc off the left wing. Dribbles down the lane. Left side, spins, up the shot off the glass and good. Again, Northwest trying to take advantage of that height advantage. This time it was Dreamer going down the lane, getting a shot off the block on the left side and banking it in.
Yeah, great pace there by Dreamer just to continue to work deep.
Cats by 10. Pass in the lane, tipped away, and it's corralled by Dreamer for Northwest. He'll give it to Bernard, and Northwest will bring it down the floor. Bearcats up 27-17 after falling behind to start this game. Northwest used a 9-0 run to take the lead, and they've had it since. Low right side, Hawkins posting up with Murray. Again, Hawkins with the height advantage in a double team. Kicks it to Dreamer. Dreamer at the top of the key. Forces a pass inside, intended for Waters, and is picked up by the fast break and Murray. Ball loose. They get it right side for Kevon Burker, and Burker then in the lane will slam it down with two hands. It's a 27-19 Northwest lead. Some pressure in the backcourt.
That time they did double the post there.
Now front left side. Hudgens dribbles through that pressure, kicks it right side. Dreamer left wide open on the wing with a 3, nothing but net. Dreamer with 7 points in this first half, and it's a 30-19 Northwest lead. And a whistle and a foul as a over right in front of the Bearcat bench. Foul coming up on West Texas. And this will go on Jonell Fugit, his second, and another timeout by West Texas. And West Texas head coach Tom Brown not very excited about that last call.
He didn't look like it, John.
30-19. Northwest Missouri State has the lead as they're taking control of this game with 7:41 left in this first half. We'll be back and have more right after this 1-minute timeout on the Bearcat Radio Network. With Austin Meyer, I'm John Coffey. Our studio engineer is Will Linder. Also helping us in the booth is Ryan Milkey, and Northwest Missouri State with their largest lead of the game at 30-19. And Austin Northwest just kind of slowly took control of this game.
Yeah, and it's all, they've been going inside, taking advantage of the mismatches like you talked about when we first opened the broadcast. You think about that possession a couple possessions ago, Wes Dreamer. He caught it at about 17, 18 feet and just slowly backed down, and no help came. And he backed all the way to about 2 or 3 feet and made a move. I think the other thing that they do so well from an offensive post-up standpoint is just the pace when they do go into their back down. Typically when you get a guard on a big like that, those guys are going to look to take charges on a back down, but they don't go violently when they go into their post-ups. It's just a slow pace, and if a double comes, then you start seeing kick-out threes. But if there's no doubles, these guys can score it in there deep. Obviously, Hawk, we know how well he scores it in there. Dreamer, even though he doesn't score it a ton in there, he's really good at it. When he gets mismatches and he gets it that deep, it's going to be game over. So they've done a great job taking advantage of the size mismatch.
And again, this is a perfect example of what we talked about in the pregame. Who do you try to stop? Again, you look at Hawkins. Hawkins already has 10. You look at Hudgens. He's got 11. But then Wes Dreamer, he's stepping up 7 points. You can't leave him alone out there on the floor either. It just causes teams so many headaches trying to match up defensively.
They just have so many weapons, John, and there's not one person out there at any point where you can say you don't have to guard, and that's what makes them so tough.
30-19, Northwest with the lead in the ball. At the elbow off the left side, Hawkins lobs it in the lane, wide open. Dreamer, he turns and hits the layup. Wes Dreamer now with 9 points, and Northwest in front, 32-19. Off the left side, Booker. Now they find Murray down the lane, misses the shot, and the rebound. Hawkins for the Cats. Cats also doing a good job on the defensive boards again this afternoon. Hudgens now will bring it across the timeline. He's met by JoJo Murray. Northwest up 32-19. Bounce pass left side, just inside the arc on the left wing for Hawkins. Lobs it in the lane again for Dreamer. Dreamer right side now. Hudgens on the wing from three-point range. Rims out. Rebound on the floor controlled by Grant and West Texas. He hustles it down the floor, top the key, through the lane, to the bucket, lays it up and in. One of the few times we've seen West Texas really get that ball in transition and get a layup. 32-21 Northwest. 6:46 left in the first half. And the front court off the right side goes Hudgens. Now Isaiah Jackson back out on the floor. Both Jackson and Bernard playing with 3 fouls in this first half. Hudgens on the left wing trying to look inside. Gets a bounce pass now to Hawkins inside the arc off the left. He'll try to back down the lane into the block. Now into the lane, leans in. Shot won't go, and the rebound pulled away by Grant. And Grant again pushes it down the floor. Free throw line, dribbles left side. Out front right side for Murray. He takes the three and connects. JoJo Murray with his first 3 of the game today. Came in with 28 on the season. 32-24, Northwest Missouri State in front. Again, you can't fall asleep against West Texas. They came from double digits deficit in the matchup against Lincoln Memorial and pulled out the victory. Now to the top of the key, Hudgens. So he gets it to Waters' right sideline. Now to Hudgens once again out front, trying to lob it low in the lane. Gets it to Hawkins. A little shot fake, goes up with a shot and a foul as Kevon Burker got a hand on the ball. Came away with the ball, but it will also pick up a foul, and that'll be his second.
I think you talk about that last 3 from West Texas, John, how important transition D is. We said that's the first look they've really got in transition, but you get an easy bucket like that in transition, it gives you more confidence as a team, and saw them knock down their first 3 in quite a while.
Hawkins hits his first free throw. This trip down the floor. 5 of 5 at the line today. 33-24 Northwest lead. Here's the second, and that one is good. 34-24 Northwest Missouri State in front. Now Booker will go to the sideline for West Texas. John Brown to come into the game, a 6'11 senior out of Magnolia, Texas. He's a transfer to the program out of D1 at Texas A&M. On the left side, where that is Murray. Between the circles, Bell. Out of Murray. He's off the left sideline. Wants to drive on Waters. Now stops and pops inside the arc. Misses the shot. Rebound. Dreamer stripped out of his hands. And the putback is up and missed by Fugit. Rebound on the right side. Bell. Bell tries to get it at the left and a whistle and a foul on the baseline underneath the bucket. This looks to go against Northwest. We're going Ryan Hawkins his first. We have to wait just a little bit on some of the fouls when they're in a huddle like that underneath the bucket. We're high above the Ford Center, and the fingers of the officials look very tiny from our vantage point. Fugit down the lane, drives, misses the shot, and the rebound, Hawkins, and another foul. This one to go against Northwest once again. This will be a shooting free throw now for Fugit. Jackson picks up the foul. That's a big one there. That is Jackson's third. So Fugit going to the line. And the first free throw is off the front of the rim. Fugit averaging just over 13 points a game. He's been held scoreless so far. He's a good free throw shooter at 79%. Jackson to the sideline. Bernard back into the ball game. Second free throw good. 34-25. Northwest Missouri State holding on to the lead. They used a 9-0 run early in this half to take the lead, and they haven't looked back. Off the right side, Hawkins. Cats also have it left side, Waters. Waters now to Hudgens. Hudgens inside the arc. Spreading things out against the man-to-man defense of West Texas. Dribbles right side where Brown comes over and checks off briefly. Now guarded by Murray. Steps back, wants the three. Rims around out. Rebound underneath the bucket. Controlled by Fugit. And he breaks it out of the pack. Goes right side, Grant. Grant down the lane to the bucket. Ball knocked loose on the baseline. Goes out of bounds. It'll belong to West Texas A&M.
Good job by Waters there, just walling up, straight up. A lot of length in there. They do such a great job of getting back and plugging in transition, not giving up advantage. We saw the one earlier, but they've been pretty solid throughout the game.
Murray with the inbound. Knocked loose, chases it down on the sideline. Out to the top, the key Fugit. Right side, Grant. He's out between the circles. Now wants to drive on Hudgens. Goes into the right corner. Bell open. Three-pointer on the way off the front of the rim. Follows his shot. Gets his rebound. Tries to put it right back up. Misses. And the rebound, Hawkins, who clears it away for Northwest and gets it to Hudgens, who will just spin around and dribble it across midcourt as sets up the offense once again. Now to Hawkins. Hawkins left side for Bernard. Now front Dreamer. Hawkins into the lane. Spins left side. Leans. Misses the shot. Rebound on the floor goes to Brown. And here comes West Texas A&M on the fast break. Murray doesn't have the number, so brings it out to the top of the key where Grant's open. Takes the three. Rims out. Rebound. Whistle and a foul. There should be a reach over coming up on John Brown. And that'll be his first since just coming into the game. He's really the only player that really gives them much size inside as he comes off the bench. We have a breaking the action here with 3:49 left in the first half. It's Northwest Missouri State 34 and West Texas A&M 25. Back to the national championship game in Evansville, Indiana, right after this 1-minute timeout on the Bearcat Radio Network. Back in Evansville, Indiana, and the Ford Center, the site of this year's NCAA Division II National Championship game. Northwest Missouri State in front 34-25. They've led by as many as 13, had a 9-0 run in this first half to get back and take the lead after falling behind early. I'm John Coffey. With me in the booth for today's game, Austin Meyer, the head coach of the Northwest Missouri State Bearcat women's basketball team. Matt Tritton unable to be with us for today's game. Ryan Milkey, also a booth assistant, and our studio engineer for today's game, Will Linder. Austin, right now with 3:59 left in the first half. Again, the Bearcats up 34-25. What are some of the major impressions you have of the way this first half has gone?
Yeah, I think, we talked about West Texas, being that 40, right around that 40% three-point shooting team, being 2 for 10 right now, but talked about a lot of that is just the defense that they're probably not used to seeing at this level, and with guys consistently in gaps, consistently there on the catch. When they're catching passes on the perimeter, they don't have space when they immediately catch, so it puts you in a position to either have to drive it or force a tougher shot where they're not getting clean looks. We talked about Trevor Hawk doing what they do. They've been in a lot of two-man game action. And then you look at the big three today being Hawk, Trevor, and Dreamer, 32 at 34 points right now and 11 of 20 shooting. Just super efficient. I guess you could say 55% is not shooting as great as they normally do. But it's just amazing how efficient they are. And it's been a different game than we saw in the first two games. It's been a lot more taking advantage of the mismatches in the post. And it's just any different way to go against defenses, they can do it.
Luke Waters fouled at the other end, going for a rebound. He comes down the line, and he will knock down the first free throw. He's got 3 points today. A 79% shooter this year. 35-25. Northwest Missouri State back with a double-digit lead as the second free throw rattles out. And it comes away to West Texas across midcourt right side. Kawhi Grant. Out to the top with the dribble left side. Double team briefly, goes into the left corner for Bell. Back out to Grant, cross-court right side, Murray. Out to the top of the key with the dribble. Hawkins gives him a little bit of room. Free throw line jumper now by Murray, short. Dreamer with the rebound for the Cats.
And another contested mid-range jumper from West Texas. And at the end of the day, this day and age, it's layups and open threes is what you want. So Northwest will live with contested mid-rangers.
Hawkins on the left baseline, drives to the bucket, lays it up and in. And Hawkins with Waters with 5 points off that drive to the bucket. Nice drive by Luke. And Northwest Missouri State again up 37-25. Right baseline, a little bump as dribbling on the right baseline was Murray. Waters there on the defense, and I think Luke will pick up the foul. That'll be his first foul.
And that's the other element, John, is, Waters is going to typically get either a big who now Brown will come out of the game just because he's not able to guard Waters on the perimeter, and Waters is typically going to get a defender that's not as good, and that's what makes it tough.
Murray going to the free throw line. Front end of a 1-and-1 misses. Rebound to Northwest and whistle on a foul. Again, Northwest doing a good job blocking out on that rebound attempt, and should be Burker, I think, reaching over to pick up the foul.
And they've done a good job, John. You think they do have the size advantage, but against smaller teams it can be tough too, especially when you get speed and quickness and you get multiple guys that can get to the ball quick. Rebounding is not all about the size. You still got to make sure you're in position and you find bodies and be quick to the ball, and they've done a good job of that.
A foul on Booker, his third. Waters at the free throw line, misses the first of two. You look at West Texas now. They've got a couple players with 3 fouls. Blankley, who came off the bench, picked up 3 quick ones, and now Booker, one of their starters, with 3. 37-25, Northwest up. Second free throw by Waters is good. Now Luke with 6 points today. And at 38-25, Bearcat lead. Out front goes Grant through the lane. Dribbles through a double team, puts it up and misses. A little bit off balance as he just tossed it up. It looked like he's maybe just trying to toss it up and draw a foul. Cats will have the rebound and a chance to increase their lead.
This last 2.5 minutes is a danger zone here for West Texas.
On the right side, Hudgens looks and finds Bernard at the top of the key. Now into the left corner, Dreamer tries the left baseline, pulls up in the block left side, pivots a couple times, and we'll give it to Bernard out top. Shot clock down to 3 seconds. Bernard fades away, goes cross-court left side. As the shot clock sounds, Hudgens knocks it down, but they're going to wave it off. Just didn't quite get it off before the shot clock went off.
Pretty good possession defensively there from West Texas.
38-25, Northwest has the lead. Out front left side, Fugit. Now top the key, down the lane right. Goes into the right corner, finds Toussaint. Steps in, takes the jumper, won't go, and clearing the rebound, Hawkins for Northwest.
And they ran him off the three-point line there, John, and forced him once again a quick pull-up mid-ranger, which at the end of the day is not his strength.
Bearcats up by 13, equaling their largest lead of the first half. Just over 2 minutes left in the half. Hawkins, left corner, Dreamer, open, 3 on the way, good. West with his second 3, and Northwest in front 41-25, their largest lead of the game. Grant out front left to the free throw line, through the lane to the bucket, lays it up and in. And Grant with 9 points, 41-27 Northwest. Hudgens, so again, will slowly bring it from our right to our left. Goes across midcourt, where he's met by Murray. 1:27 left in the half. 14 seconds on the shot clock as he dribbles to the right baseline. Forced on the baseline by Blankley. And that, if it is, it should be Blankley's 4th foul according to my totals, because he just came right back into the ballgame. 41-27, Northwest Missouri State with the lead. That will be number 4 on Blankley. Hudgens back to the free throw line, trying to increase the Bearcat 41-27 lead. The left-hander's free throw good.
You don't see that a lot this day and age, somebody getting 4 fouls in the first half. A lot of teams will typically, even after 2, just sit guys down through the half.
He goes over to the sideline to sit down. Bernard also to the bench for Northwest. Jackson back in, and Hudgens hits another free throw. 13 points for the player of the year in the NABC, as well as the D2 CCA. Grant into the lane, leans in, lays it up and in. And he's got 11 points. He averages 22.5 per game for West Texas. 43-29, Northwest Missouri State up. Just over 1 minute left in the first half. Cats trying to pick up another national championship. They already have 2 in their trophy case. On the right side, Hawkins, a 3 on the way, rattles it down. For Huck, that's his first 3 of the game. He's got 15 points total, 46-29, Northwest up. Fugit into the lane, ball knocked away by Hawkins, picked up by Dreamer at the free throw line. Now to Hudgens. Hudgens dribbles through a double team, ball knocked out as he's bumped going into the lane. And this will get Trevor back to the line for the 46-29 Bearcat lead. 41.1 seconds left in the first half. Toussaint picks up the foul. trying to stop that fast break by Hudgens. That'll be Zach Toussaint's first foul. And Hudgens will toe the line here. Trevor 4-4 at the line tonight. And it's the first. Actually, still morning as Hudgens hits that free throw.
You got about 10 more minutes, John.
I know. You get inside these arenas, it all looks the same. Second free throw. On the way, good. Cats opening things up as the first half coming to a close. Grant on the right side goes cross-court left. Murray, Northwest in front, 48-29. 28 seconds left in the half as West Texas spreading things out. A little bit difference between the shot clock and the game clock. Shot clock's now at 9 seconds. Through the lane to the bucket. The drive, Murray off the glass, no, and the catch cleared away as Hawkins with the rebound. Gets it to Hudgens. He hustles across midcourt with the dribble to the right wing. 10 seconds left in the first half. The last two games of this Elite Eight tournament. Northwest had the last shot and last bucket of the half. Hudgens right side, steps back, wants the three of 2 seconds. It rolls around out. Rebound pulled down by Grant, and that's the end of the half. And a good half it was for Northwest Missouri State. They'll go into the locker room with a 48-29 lead over the West Texas A&M Buffaloes. We'll be back. Yeah, more for you from Evansville, Indiana, the national championship game right after this 1-minute timeout on the Bearcat Radio Network. And welcome back to the Ford Center in Evansville, Indiana. Along with Northwest Missouri State women's head basketball coach Austin Meyer, I'm John Coffey. Matt Tritton unable to be with us in person here at the Ford Center, but he's with us in spirit, texting us some vital information. He just came up with a nice little stat that's 29 points by West Texas A&M, the lowest point total that the Buffaloes have had all season long at halftime.
Yeah, add it to the list, John. You know, I feel like Northwest has had that quite a bit, especially when we get into these tournament settings. They've seen a lot of teams that have scored at a really high level, but when they get the tempo in their favor and they get back in transition and they plug the paint and they defend like they do, they make it hard on teams to score. And like you said, the lowest output of the season so far for West Texas.
Yeah, and Austin Meyer, this is a game where Northwest has built up a huge lead at halftime. They've come into this Elite Eight part of the bracket and really have dominated up to this point.
Yeah, it said about 2.5 minutes left in that half. It was kind of a danger zone for West Texas. It was a 13-point game, and that's one of those. If they can make a run and have a few string some good possessions together, get some stops, maybe you get that game down to 7 or 8. But obviously, it didn't go that way for them. Northwest continued to do what they've done throughout the game, and now you get that lead to 20 points.
Here's another stat that really stands out and this would be a great stat for a complete game, but just a first half. Ryan Hawkins with 15 points and 10 rebounds. He already has a double-double on this game. That's his 30th in his career, and a double-double at halftime.
It's crazy. I think back to the MIAA tournament game that we did. He had a triple-double with 5 or 6 minutes left in the game, and yeah, he's incredible. He's always around the ball. He's as good of a loose ball getter as there is, and that's not even a stat. And then you add in his ability to rebound on both ends, offensive, defensively. He scored it a ton in the post tonight. He's only taken 1 3. He made it, but he's been very efficient. He's got to the foul line. He's just a really good player, and I know a lot of teams would be glad that he's gone, but he's not going to be.
That's right. He's already announced he's coming back for another year, taking advantage of the opportunity given with COVID-19 where you get an extra year of eligibility. And he might be on Social Security, but by the time he's done it, but boy, he's going to put some the stats are going to be tough to beat when he leaves this place that he holds.
Yeah, and he's come a long way from where he came in as a freshman. I mean, he was a really good player when he came in and redshirted for us as a freshman, but he just continued to get better. He's a kid that played every darn sport out of high school, and he plays a little slow pitch softball with the coaches too. So he's got a pretty good bat, and he's just a talented kid, and he just loves to play the game and loves to be around people, and he's been terrific.
Tell you what's fun. You talk about he loves the game. He probably has more fun on the basketball court of anybody I've ever seen. We were at Emporia State this year, and our location was courtside. And one of the few times that ball went off his fingertips, rolled out of bounds in front of us, he just looks at me and goes, "My bad, John," and just goes down the floor.
Yeah, it's fun sometimes to see his interactions with Mac. Because Mac will we'll chew him out and get into him, and half the time Hawk will look back and smile at Mac, and there's just nothing that rattles him, and that's what makes him good too. Is there's never going to be a moment that's too big for him. He's an awesome kid. He's great in the community. He lost his father a few years back, and I know that was tough, but he's got a great family support, and he's just a great representative of Northwest and kind of what we look for in kids in our programs and the culture we want, and it extends down throughout the entire team.
One of the things you talked about in the first half, where early in the game it was primarily you're talking about Trevor and Hawk getting the ball and doing a lot of things, and you mentioned there that things will start opening up for the rest of the team as the game goes along because of what they were doing offensively. And you look at the stats here, that's exactly what happened with the Bearcat offense.
Yeah, it was Trevor and Hawk early. Took I think 6 of the first 8 field goal attempts were from those two, and then you started seeing them double the on ball a couple times with Trevor. Hawk got in the post quite a bit and scored, and then Dreamer gets loose for a couple threes. They switch a smaller guy on to Dreamer, and they come out of the gate. Mac runs a play, goes straight into Dreamer for a bucket. So they just take advantage of mismatches wherever they're at, and it's a combination of as good as Mac is at drawing stuff up, but the guys recognize it so quick on the floor too that if you get a switch, there's the mismatch. The other thing they do such a good job of is they don't take themselves out of the offense. There's sometimes, if you a lot of teams, there's the mismatch, and you stand there and you point at it, and everybody on the floor knows, well, it's going there, so now everybody can load up and help. But they do a good job of locating those mismatches within the flow of the game. And then they're so good when they do get it in there. If a double team comes, it's an immediate kick out. We saw that late with a couple threes. And then so then you get Dreamer, a third scorer in there, and then all of a sudden it's Waters getting a closeout from a 5, and he's going by and shooting 2 layups. So there's just so many weapons on the team and so many guys that can score it that, I've watched this team as a fan now for 3 years, and I don't know what you do. I mean, you can go through all the different ways of, do you want to down their ball screen? Do you want to trap their ball screen? Do you want to switch their ball screen? And they have a way to go against every single coverage, and that's what makes them tough.
Quick check of the stats here at halftime for Northwest Missouri State, shooting 58% from the field, 15 of 26. They were 50% on threes, 4 of 8. At the free throw line, 82%, 14 of 17. West Texas, on the other hand, 35% from three-point range, 11 of 31 on their field goals. They are 20% on the three-point opportunity, something Austin talked about a little bit earlier, just struggling from three-point range. They are 2 of 10 from there. At the free throw line, 71%, 5 of 7. And for Northwest, a double-double already for Ryan Hawkins with 15 points to go along with 10 rebounds. Trevor Hudgens with 15 points. He was 6 of 6 at the free throw line. Also has 3 assists from the first half. Also in double figures, Wes Dreamer, 12 points on 5 of 7 shooting. 6 points for Luke Waters to round out the scoring for Northwest. And the Cats here at halftime up 48-29 over West Texas A&M in the national championship game in the NCAA Division II National Tournament. We'll be back, get ready for the second half right after this timeout on the Bearcat Radio Network. Back in Evansville, Indiana at the Ford Center, the side of the NCAA Division II Elite 8. It's the national championship game. Northwest Missouri State with their largest lead of the game, 48-29, leading by 19 as we get ready for second half play. This is a West Texas team in their semifinal round game. They were down by 16 against Lincoln Memorial in the first half and came back to win it on a buzzer beater, winning at 87-86. Boston Meyer, I'm John Coffey. Again, Matt Tritton unable to be with us for today's game. In booth help with Ryan Milkey and our studio engineers Will Linder. And Austin, when you look at what's coming up now for the second half for the Bearcats, what are some of the big keys to make sure that West Texas doesn't get back in this game?
I think just continuing to get back in transition, do what they do defensively. We talked about the West Texas only had that one transition bucket. Taking care of the basketball, 5 turnovers for Northwest in the first half was big. We talked about West Texas's ability to force them. And then just continuing to get great shots, take advantage of mismatches inside.
Diego Bernard starting this second half. He picked up a couple fouls in the first half. Out front for Wes Dreamer. Back to Bernard on the right wing. A cross-court pass in the left corner. Waters is open. Will drive to the baseline. Cut off there. And will step on the baseline, I believe. He does. And turnover will give it to West Texas. Yeah, the Booker coming over on the defense and trying to make a little bit of a move there on the baseline. Steps on it. And here comes West Texas with it, with their first possession of this second half. Out front is Grant. Looks and goes right side for Murray. He's guarded by Diego. He's giving a little bit of room out on the perimeter. Cross-court left side for Toussaint. Back to Murray. Into the right corner is Fugit. To the top of the key, Murray. Back right side, Fugit. He wants the 3 over Waters, and it just grazes the rim. Chased in the left corner by Wes Dreamer for Northwest. And he'll give it to Hudgens, and Hudgens to bring it down the floor. In this second half, Northwest going from our left to our right, getting in their green uniforms with white numerals in trim. And for West Texas, they are in their white uniforms with the burgundy and black trim. Pass goes to Hawkins, and it will go off of Hawkins out of bounds right in front of the Bearcat bench, something that Coach Ben McCollum is questioning as the turnover will give it to West Texas. 48-29, Northwest Missouri State in front. Into the front court off the left side, Murray. He dribbles to the top of the key. Looks and finds Grant. Grant down the lane he goes, and a whistle and a foul. This will go on Northwest.
John, if you're a specialty guy, Toussaint, we know, shoots it so well from 3. On the scatter report, he's a don't let him shoot guy and hasn't had a look yet from 3 the entire game.
Hudgens picks up the foul. That's his first. When you look at their scouting report, says don't let him shoot, don't let him shoot, don't let him shoot. I think they wanted to emphasize that, and so far it's worked. The elbow on the right side, Grant, a little bump and a foul. And this one will go against West Texas this time.
Yeah, sometimes you got to say things multiple times, John, to get that point across.
Northwest Missouri State in front 48-29. On the left side, Bernard to the top of the key, Hawkins. On the right wing, Hudgens. Little shoulder shrug, dribbles toward the right corner, back to Waters. Waters through the lane to the bucket. The runner won't go, but a foul. And this will get Waters back to the free throw line.
We talked about West Texas' aggressive style defensively. A couple times you can see just on that possession, went for a quick steal. It's one of those, if you don't get it, you're going to give up some sort of advantage, and Waters was able to get to the paint and get to the line.
And his free throw is good on the first one. We'll have a second coming here. That last foul, again on Murray, and that is his third. So we're seeing West Texas get into some foul trouble. His second free throw is good as well. 50-29, Northwest Missouri State in front. Now a bit of a drive by Grant off that right wing, and Hudgens reaching in will pick up the foul. And for Trevor, that'll be his second, both coming early in this second half.
I think that's the difference defensively with Northwest. You're not going to see a ton of steals just because they're going to be so sound in their gaps defensively. There's less of a gamble mentality.
Through the lane to the bucket on the drive goes Kawhi Grant, and he has 13 points, and Northwest Missouri State up 50-31. Hudgens into the front court off the left side. Again, left to right from our vantage point, high above the Ford Center. On the left side is Diego Bernard. Quick pass. Gets it to Waters at the free throw line. Down the lane left. Drive with the left hand. Won't go. Rebound ripped away by Grant. West Texas on the fast break. Grant spins down the lane right side. Goes low left for Murray. They'll bring it back out front left. Toussaint with a 3. It's good. Toussaint with his first 3 of the game. He only had 1 in the win against Lincoln Memorial, but that was a big one. It was the one right at the buzzer from about that same spot that gave the West Texas team the win over Lincoln Memorial. 50-34, Northwest Missouri State with the lead. Bernard trying to go into lane for Hawkins. Stepping in front of that pass was Grant. Here comes the Buffaloes on the fast break. Into the right corner, Fugit. Drives the baseline to the bucket. Stripped out of his hands by Hudgens. Picked up by Dreamer near the elbow, and he'll give it to Trevor, and he'll slow it up. Cass to set up the offense. Hudgens in the front court left side. Being chased by Zach Toussaint. Drives down the lane to the bucket, lays it up, misses the layup. Hawkins trying to fight for the rebound. Ball will go out of bounds off of Hawkins. Hawkins looking at a couple of officials, thinking there might have been a foul there as he goes back down to the floor to play some defense.
That's one you don't usually see Trevor miss. He got the matchup he wanted. They just went straight ISO. Good strong drive to his left hand, just unable to finish.
50-34, Northwest up. On the right side, Fugit dribbles to the elbow right now through the lane. Tosses it up with the left hand, won't go. Fighting for the rebound, Hawkins. As he scoops the pass away, it goes to Diego Bernard, and Diego will slow it up and off the left side. Out front, cross court right. Hudgens back to Bernard. Dribbles to the left baseline, accelerates underneath the bucket, kicks it back out front left for Hawkins. Hawkins now on the drive, trying to post up with Grant. Takes it in the lane left. Grant knocks it loose, but Hawkins picks it back up and banks it up and in. 17 points for Hawkins, a 52-34 Northwest Missouri State lead. Grant down the lane to the bucket, blocked away by Bernard, and the rebound Hawkins for Northwest. Throws it to Hudgens. He'll take it down the left sideline for Bernard inside the arc. Roll drives down the lane left to the bucket. Puts it up in the air, knocked away loose, but he fights for his rebound. Just out hustled Booker for that ball in the lane and goes low post left side for Hawkins in a double team. Back out front, Waters. Right side for Hudgens. Into the right corner, Dreamer. Wide open with the three. Got it. 15 points for Dreamer. 55-34. Northwest has the lead. Into the front court off the left side with the dribble goes Murray. He'll step up, want the three, and got it. Just kind of surveyed the situation, decide the best thing that they could do that trip down was for him to take that three, and it worked out for West Texas. 55-37, Northwest Missouri State with the lead. Into the front court off the left side is Hudgens. Dribbles out between the circles. Bounce pass left wing, finds Waters. Goes low left for Hawkins. Posting up with Grant. Again, a height advantage. Now a double team with Hawkins. He'll bring it out front for Waters. Down the lane he goes. Back to Hawkins before he gets the pass away over to the corner for Hawkins. A foul coming up. And this will go on West Texas. And this will be on Toussaint, and that will be his second foul. We also have a stoppage of play with 14:49 left in the game. 14:49 left. Northwest Missouri State up on West Texas A&M in the national championship game, 55-37. We'll be back in 2 minutes on the Bearcat Radio Network. And we are back in Evansville, Indiana at the Ford Center. Northwest Missouri State 55 and West Texas A&M 37. With Austin Meyer, I'm John Coffey. Northwest will have the ball coming out of this timeout. And again, it's been all Northwest really for the most of this ball game as Northwest opening up the big lead.
John, it's good to see Wes Dreamer playing with a high level of confidence today. You know, he was 38% from three on the year and obviously had a great season, but he's a guy that had struggled a little bit shooting-wise over the last few games, and he's been locked in today. Inbound
comes to Hawkins as he takes the pass and goes up and right back down with. Will get called for the travel on the rare turnover for Hawkins, and the ball will go right back to West Texas. 55-37, Northwest Missouri State in front. As Vigo will take it across the timeline. Check that. Murray across the timeline. Goes right side, Grant. On the right wing with the dribble. Cross court left, Murray. Dribbles to the left baseline. Out front left, Toussaint. The long three. Rims around out. And the rebound, Dreamer for Northwest. You know, Dreamer in his freshman year last year kind of got a reputation for being a big game type of player. He stepped up in a lot of big games as a freshman and doing it here today in this national championship game.
Yeah, definitely. And he got a bucket early on a post up, a couple ones around the basket. And for somebody that has been struggling to get a couple of easy ones early in a game, that can do wonders from a confidence standpoint.
Northwest out front left side, Hudgens now to Diego Bernard. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Hudgens right side will drive to the free throw line, spin down the lane right, up and scoops it up and misses the layup. Fights for his rebound on the baseline. It will go out of bounds off of Hudgens and belong to West Texas. 14:01 left in the national championship game. Northwest Missouri State in front 55-37. Into the front court right side goes Grant. Grant through the lane to the bucket, lays it up, misses it. Rebound, Diego Bernard. His outlet goes right side, finds Hudgens. Nearly picked away by Fugit, but Hudgens will control. And now we'll just turn and calmly take it across midcourt. Cats spread out the offense. That players over on the left side. Now they break out of that. Bounce pass to the top of the key, Bernard. Lobs it low for Dreamer. Now left side, Waters on the wing from three-point range. The line drive is good. Waters into double figures with 11 points. And the Cats in front, 58-37. Grant to the top of the key. He looks on the left side, Toussaint. Picked up by Dreamer. Now right side, Murray. He takes the three over Dreamer, rims out right, and Diego Bernard with the rebound.
And you can see the difference right now is, it's tough threes for West Texas. It's open threes for Northwest.
Hudgens again slowly just brings it across midcourt. Northwest now just milking the clock, taking a lot of time off of each possession as Hudgens will dribble out left side. Shot clock down to 10 seconds. Between the circles, Bernard back to Hudgens on the left. Down to 3 seconds on the shot clock. Drives the lane left, lays it up, won't go. Fight for the rebound. Corralled by Dreamer, banks it up and in. Dreamer with 17 points, 60-37. Northwest Missouri State in front. On the left side, Fugit down the lane. He goes, drives, blocked away by Waters. Ball on the baseline, out of bounds. It will belong to West Texas.
And John, that's the other part of it. You could put 8 seconds on the shot clock every possession, and Northwest would still find a way to score. They're so efficient that they can run the tempo. They can work the clock down inside of 10, where other teams that aren't as efficient, you probably can't do that because you may not get a good shot late in the shot clock. But their ability to score it allows them to control that tempo and pace.
Inbound left side, 3 on the way, rattles around and out, taken or missed by Fugit. And the rebound, Diego Bernard once again. He's on the floor with Isaiah Jackson, also Trevor Hudgens, and Hawkins and Dreamer on the floor. Waters over to the sideline right now for Northwest as Diego Bernard will take it through the lane, finds baseline. Isaiah Jackson lays it up, misses it, tries to fight for his rebound. Ball out of bounds. It belonged to Northwest. Seen that play run a number of times this season with Byron Alexander out on the floor, just kind of running that baseline. That time they got it to Jackson, just missed the layup, but the Cats will get it off the fight for the rebound. Low left is Hawkins. In the lane he goes, leans in, puts up the shot, and good as Hawkins continues to play well on this one. 19 points, already has a double-double. Last time a double-double came in a national championship game is Chris Endow for Northwest. Pass into the lane for West Texas, knocked away and picked up by Northwest.
And you saw the easy one with Isaiah, just a cutting ability that they're so good at on the baseline too, with Trevor drawing so much attention, all those other guys, it frees up those cuts.
Now Hudgens driving the lane left side, a foul coming up. And this, I believe, will be on Murray, and that'll be number 4 on Murray of West Texas. So, again, West Texas getting a number of players into some foul trouble here. With 11:31 left in the game, it's Northwest Missouri State 62, West Texas A&M 37. Back after this 90-second timeout on the Bearcat Radio Network. 62-37, Northwest Missouri State in command of this matchup with West Texas A&M in the NCAA Division II National Championship game. Support for the Bearcats comes from the Kansas City Beer Company, brewer of German-style beer, founded by Northwest graduate Steve Holley of the class of 1980. KC Beer uses imported German malts and hops and traditional brewing methods for authentic German flavor. More at kcbier.com. 62-37, Northwest Missouri State. They were behind briefly early. They used a 9-0 run to take the lead, and Austin Meyer, they have never looked back since then.
They haven't, and it's what they do. 53% from the field, 60 from 3, holding the team under 35% field goal percentage with their defense and not giving up stuff in transition. And it's just it's that game-by-game recipe that we've seen with them.
We mentioned a little bit earlier that Chris Endow, the last player to get a double-double in an NCAA Division II National Championship game. You coached Chris Endow, and just what did he bring to the program at that point that you've seen carry on with this group right now?
Yeah, just a competitiveness, toughness. I think of that national championship game, I think he had 16 rebounds, something like that.
As Hawkins takes the inbound, rolls to the right side and lays it up and in, and Northwest increases the lead 64-37.
It's just a great kid and great player in our program.
Out to the top of the key on the right side, Murray looks and goes right through the hands of Toussaint in the left side. Looked like that time Toussaint was just wanting to go up with that shot from the sideline, but forgot one key element, that's to catch the basketball.
Yeah, and everything is challenged. Every catch is challenged. Every pass is challenged. Every dribble is challenged. You're just you're not going to get easy stuff, and it just makes it really tough.
64-37 Northwest. Hudgens dribbles through the jump ball circle off the left side. He's being pressured by Fugit. Now top of the key. Pulls up at the elbow. Gets it to Hawkins. A long 3 off the left side. Good. Hawkins knocks down another. And Northwest up 67-37 with 10:43 left in the game. Cats trying to pick up their 3rd national championship. Down the lane right side it goes Grant. Tripped and whistle on a foul coming up here.
Hawk up to 24 points, 12 rebounds.
Not a bad afternoon's work. He had a pretty good afternoon's work right at the end of the first half.
Yeah. Pretty nice little Saturday for Hawk.
Foul on Waters, picks up his 2nd as West Texas gets ready to inbound off the right side.
Bearcats 7 of 11 from 3, 16 and 19 at the line.
Looking to inbound, they get it right side. Grant from 3-point range misses, and the rebound to Northwest and Wes Dreamer. West Texas team has really struggled from a three-point range this afternoon. They're just 4 of 17. 67-37, Northwest Missouri State with their largest lead of the game at 30. Out front, Hawkins looks on the right side, Hudgens. Now to Diego Bernard. Drives the lane as he's bumped, misses the free throw on the left side, but a foul on the floor. And this will go on West Texas.
John, I think another thing, you look at somebody like Diego, and we all know how good a player he is. If he's at a different program right now, he's a guy that could, probably be a 20 and 10 point a game guy, but he's so selfless, and it's all about the team. It's all about winning and just doing those things that he does well.
And the line leading in was Wes Dreamer off the inbound, and he'll knock it down. And Wes with 19 points, 69-37, Northwest Missouri State in front. Out front right side, Fugit. He takes the jumper over Waters, won't go. Rebound, Diego, as he just skies high and comes away with that rebound. You ever seen a player with springs on his legs like Diego has?
He's impressive to watch. I remember watching him in AAU and watching him even on the football field. He does a lot of things that make you say, wow, that's for sure.
Now bounce pass goes past Dreamer and out of bounds. It belonged to West Texas. Hayden Blankley back into the game for West Texas. Again, he's a guy that can light it up from outside, but he picked up 4 fouls coming off the bench in the first half. Toussaint left side. Now on the left wing, Fugit drives to the bucket, lays it up and in. Jonell Fugit with just his first field goal of this game. He's got 3 points total, and he's a player coming in averaging over 13 points a contest. Northwest has shut him down, really kept the ball away from him for the most part. Hawkins with it, just inside the arc off the left side. Again, a mismatch with Grant. Now in a double team, they get it to Waters off the left. And a reach-in foul coming up on West Texas as Jonell Fugit reaches in and will commit his 3rd foul.
We've seen a few more double teams from West Texas. They doubled Hawk there, but we talked about it earlier. They're going to make the right decision out, and you're going to create advantages on the kickouts and extra passes and attacking closeouts.
Bernard on the left wing. Now out front for Waters. Bounce pass low left side for Hawkins. Goes up with a shot, misses as he went through a double team on the left. And I believe this foul should come up on Grant, and that'll be away Grant's 2nd foul. And this will get Hawkins to the free throw line. He's got 24 points this afternoon on 8 of 12 shooting. He's knocked down both threes he's taken, and he's a perfect 6 of 6 at the free throw line. And this one hits the front of the rim and falls in. 70-39, Northwest up with 8:53 left, and the second free throw good. Hawkins with 25 points. Northwest Missouri State with the lead, 71-39. Now as they go on the baseline right side, Fugit. Got a foul coming up on Northwest.
Hawk up to 26 and 12. He's made it look easy, John.
Oh, my goodness.
Just like his class schedule next year.
I think he's going to take about every class that's offered in the book by the time he leaves Northwest. Down the lane left with the drive goes Grant, misses it. Hawkins trying to come up with the rebound on the baseline, trying to save it inbounds. There's a whistle and a foul. Looks like Diego Bernard maybe took a pretty hard shot to the chops there as foul coming up on West Texas. Blankley picks up the foul, and he'll go to the sideline. His minutes are not quite what he normally gets, but he picked up some fouls early, and now fouls out of the game. And the foul actually coming on Hawkins, although it did look like with Diego's reaction, he might have been on that same sequence there as Hawkins goes to the free throw line. And he steps up, misses the second of 2, hit the first, and Northwest Missouri State in front 72-39, 8:36